Hello everyone. I haven't done these tag videos in a while, but when I saw Hedley, another fat-bearded man, talking about records, I thought that this country tag sounded so interesting that I wanted to see if I would be able to make one. Because although I do enjoy country music quite a bit, I don't actually have that many records, that many country records. And majority of those country records that I do have are by just a few artists. So I wanted to see if I would be able to make this video without showing records by same artist time and time again. And I did manage to do so. So let's get started. First question is oldest recordings or oldest record in my collection. Oldest recordings are these Hank Williams first recordings, 1938. Poor quality recordings, as you would expect, and I don't really like these songs either. A side is Fan It and B side is Alexander's Ragtime Band. Alexander's Ragtime Band is actually a good song, but the version here is not a good one. So just for historical importance only. Second question is newest release or acquisition. Well, I don't have much recent releases. Don't have anything from this decade, and only a couple of records from the last decade. So my most recent is this one, Marty Brom and her Barnshakers, Snake Ranch. Marty Brom is from Austin, Texas, and Barnshakers is a Finnish band. This record is from 1999. Me coming from the rock and roll background, I think this is a great record. But I would be curious to hear somebody with who comes purely from a country background, what they would think of this. At least three of these songs are pure rockabilly. They're not country, they're rockabilly songs. Several of these songs are actually done in the same style as what Patsy Cline did in the early 60s. But these are more upbeat, they are more faster tempo songs, and there are no string backgrounds. Although there is a violin in, was it three or four songs here. The title track, Snake Ranch, is actually Western swing, like 40s Western swing. So yeah, very great record. I think it's great, but wonder what somebody who comes directly from a country background would think of this. And I want to tell you a little story about this also. I saw them live in about 10-15 years after this one was released, and they were performing in an I guess auditorium is a good word for it. And the way they played was the first Barnshakers played their own set, and then Marty Brom joined them. Then there was an intermission, and after that they returned to play a second set. But during the intermission, Marty Brom came out and she took a photograph of the audience, saying that she wants to have a photograph of this audience because her friends back home wouldn't believe how big audience she is performing there. It wasn't really that big of a place, but compared to the small clubs where they usually play, where you have auditorium where seats are spread out and up, it just looked really big place, but it wasn't really that big of a place. But it made me made me feel good to think that she enjoyed having to perform in such a big place. International country record outside from USA. This one actually answers two questions. The second question being small or independent label. This is Hilland Playboys 200 Mondays. This is a Finnish band, and this record is released on their own Hilland record label. Yeah, this is a band that by this time they had played 200 Mondays in a club here. They have since played over 300 Mondays. I don't know how many Mondays they have played there during this COVID, but they have played during this time also. And majority of the live set is centered around old country, 40s and 50s country, but they do play country all the way up until today. And they also play 3 hours a night. Okay, what's the next one? A bluegrass record. Okay, this one was one that I was struggling with. First thing that came to my mind was show Alison Krauss and Union Station, because I know that she is considered to be like the biggest bluegrass artist of today. But to me, although I do love her music, I have several of her records, I don't really consider it to be bluegrass. So that was the only one until I did remember 2 bluegrass records that I had, and one was this one. Jorma Kaukonen, Blue Country Heart, and this is excellent, absolutely excellent. Anybody with an interest for bluegrass or country should hear this record. Excellent, excellent album. Okay, record by artist you have most records by. Okay, for a person like me who has a casual interest or is a beginner as a country artist, you would think that I would have most records by Johnny Cash, but I don't. The biggest number of records that I have by is Emmylou Harris, and by far I would guess at least twice as many records by than the number 2, if not even 3 times as much. And by the way, this one is considered to be Emmylou's bluegrass record, but again, I don't consider this to be bluegrass. Okay, third one, live record. Again, I came up with 4 live country records, so not that much. Johnny Cash, live at Folsom Prison. After at San Quentin, I believe that this is Johnny Cash's most famous record, and this is a double album version, and I believe that this is a good documentation of a live gig, but I don't actually consider this to be such a great live performance. So there are better live records than this one. Okay, box set. Again, a simple question, and this is also alongside Marty Brom, my most recent purchase. This is Willie Nelson, One Hell of a Ride, the only box set that I do have. And this covers his whole career, starting from the very beginning, actually so much from the beginning that this includes the first single that was left unreleased at the time, going all the way up until 2008. So yeah, many different country styles represented here. A duet album. Yeah, this is the artist that I have second most albums by, Chris Christopherson with Rita Coolidge. I do have Rita Coolidge's first album, and it leaves me a little bit unsettled, because even with that first album you can hear the seeds in which her musical style would grow up to be. But these 2, I have the first 2 duet albums with Chris Christopherson. These don't represent that style. These are pure country records, and I think they are absolutely wonderful. There is at least a third one, possibly fourth one also, but I haven't been able to make myself listen to those, because I believe that those are much more in a style in which Rita Coolidge's career would go on to be. A record you recommend to someone who hasn't heard or doesn't know country music. Okay, this one was one that I was thinking, trying to show something obscure thing, but in the end I decided that going with the most obvious choice would be the best decision. This is Graham Parsons with Emmylou Harris, Grievous Angel. As music, this is pure country, although Graham himself called it cosmic American music. But yeah, it's pure country music, but sound-wise, it's not country. It's not something that you would associate with country record. The sound quality here is much more of a rock record. The guitars are pure. Have this shimmering quality. Drums are much more audible. But yeah, as country, it's absolutely pure country. So I believe that this is a good way to get into country music. Okay, a 7-inch or 10-inch. I don't have any 10 inches, and you already saw half of my 7 inches. So here's the second 7-inch that I have. This Nitty Gritty Dirt Band, Will the Circle Be Unbroken? Well, actually, the A side is Honky Tonking, and B side is Will the Circle Be Unbroken? I think this is a great song. Over the years and over the decades, I have seen many bands perform this song live, but on record it's been very difficult to find. This is actually only the second version of this song that I have in my collection. Small or independent label I already showed. A Country Grail. Okay, once again, this was one that I was struggling with. There isn't any country grail record that I could name. So I decided to go a bit different way and show a record that has been very, very important, influential record to me. And that is Sweetheart of the Rodeo by the Byrds. Back in the early 90s, there was a period of time when I spent a lot of time in the library, and this was one of the records that I used to listen to there. And it wasn't something that I actually thought was like a great record. It was a fascinating record. It sounded so old, it sounded so dry, and I knew Byrds as a rock band or a country rock band or a folk rock band. So I was expecting the music to have a sort of a role or a swing that the rock bands have within their play, but this one didn't have that. So it was fascinating, so I came back to it time and again, but it still did take me several years before I bought this record. But yeah, this was sort of my gateway into country music. Okay, an alternate country or country rock record. Okay, this was once again one that I was really struggling with. I was thinking of Lyle Lovett, but then I came up with the artist that I have 6 records by him, and none of the records, in my opinion, are country, but I know that he is considered to be a country artist, so I decided to show this one. This is Steve Earle, Transcendental Blues. Yeah, to me this doesn't sound anything like country music, but since he is considered to be a country artist, this is really alternate country. Sub-genre. This one was the easiest one. As soon as I heard this question, I knew which one I would going to be showing. This is Country Soul, and this is Ginny C. Riley, Harpo Valley PTA. Plantation Recordings, 1968-1970. This double CD includes her first 5 albums, which were recorded for the Plantation Recordings. And after this one, she changed labels and she became a proper country artist. But yeah, Country Soul is a music style that I really, really like. But unfortunately, there are only 3 artists that fit into this category. There's Ginny C. Riley with her early recordings. Then there's Bobby Gentry, and Elvis Presley recorded 2 albums within this style. So yeah, very, very highly recommend to anybody who has interest in late 60s soul music. Many people know the song Harpo Valley PTA, but I would recommend you to listen to the song The Backside of Dallas. Very, very good song. And lastly, Fave Country Repress. Again, this was one that I thought that okay, there isn't really any Fave Country Represses until I was going through my records because I was looking for another record, and I saw this artist, and I thought that that's the one that I will show. This is Rose and Cash, Black Cadillac, and this is the record she made after her father Johnny Cash, her stepmother June Carter Cash, and her own mother Vivian had died. So it's in remembrance of those three. Yeah, great record. Not actually my favorite record from Rose and Cash, but yeah, great record. Okay, that's it for this time. Hope you like this. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment. Bye.